Hello, and welcome to one of my favorite posts of the year, the watch I wore most for 2024. So join me, the Hodinkee staff, and many of our friends as we recount some of the watches we simply couldn't take off this year. For me, that's the Longines Spirit Zulu Time in titanium, a limited edition we launched late in 2023. From mountains of Switzerland to diving in Costa Rica and certainly lots of trips to the office in New York, I've been wearing it a ton and I can't wait to take it on adventures next year. Now, let's see what everybody else has.
The watch I wore most in 2024 was my Cartier Panthère. Again, this is the watch I wore most in 2023, the watch I wore most in 2024, and I suspect it will be the watch I wear most in 2025. I've worked at Hodinkee for nearly a decade at this point, and this is the watch in my very small collection that continues to feel most like me. It makes me feel both effortless and elegant, and that's really the only thing I'm ever going for. The watch was a gift from my husband James for my 30th birthday, and is set to see a few more really big life milestones over the next few years. So we're excited to see what other memories we can make with it.
Hi, I'm Jason Heaton. I'm a freelance editor-at-large for Hodinkee, and I have to choose the one watch that I wore the most in 2024, which is a tough call because I rotate through about 3 or 4 regularly. But since I can only choose one, it's going to be this one, my titanium Blancpain 50 Fathoms automatic. This is a watch I've had for a couple of years, and it's been underwater on my wrist a lot, including under the ice and diving wrecks in the Great Lakes and in French Polynesia. And then this past summer, I was able to take part in 2 5-day expeditions in the Channel Islands off the coast of California, wearing this watch with Oceana. You know, as an avid diver and as someone who kind of really appreciates the lore and history of diving and diving watches, Blancpain obviously holds a special place in my heart. And there's something about this watch, I think it's the mix of its kind of bold design with kind of the history that's in it through the brand, as well as, you know, it's high watchmaking, but it's a piece that really encourages me or inspires me to get out and have adventures with it. And I think that is it's something that I've always held important. And if I've got anything of a motto, it's not about the watch, it's about what you do when you're wearing it. And that applies especially to this one.
The watch that I wore most this year is my Hodinkee Irwin piece unique. It's a take on the Irwin tuxedo that's currently in the catalog, but I made a few small adjustments, including a step bezel and some more complicated finishings. Now, I guess it's no surprise that a customized watch would be the one I end up wearing the most this year, but I've wanted a Hodinkee for years. It's a really low-key watch, and the Debbie Seconds complication is just so much fun to look at. Plus, there's just nothing else quite like it on the market at this price point.
Hi guys, the first watch I wore most in this year was the Bergeron Mirage in white gold. For me, it was very unusual to wear the same watch on a daily basis in the last 5 months. I'm privileged to be one of the first owners of this timepiece. On the wrist, the Mirage has a tremendous magnetism, and it was made without restriction and compromises. The architecture of the gold movement is completely asymmetric, detecting the shape of the case.
The watch I wore the most this year is the Oskalotic number 7.5. Since purchasing it in February, I've taken it everywhere, but the biggest reaction came at the Watches of Wonders. Since this watch is only available in Japan, many people approached me and I even made some new friends. Owning this watch also gave me the opportunity to visit the workshop of its founder, Jiro Katayama. I'm super excited to see what's coming next year from them.
The watch I wore the most in 2024 was my Rolex Explorer 1 reference 114270. It's definitely a daily wear, goes with everything. I purchased it when I first started working at Hodinkee, so it'll always have a little special place in my collection. And to be honest, the time's probably never set correctly, much to the chagrin of my co-workers, but it's my definitive norm core watch, and it's my watch I wore the most.
The watch that I wore the most in 2024 is my Rolex Datejust 41, reference 126300. It's a watch that I took in on a trade earlier this year and really never expected to own, like, or wear it as much as I did. In this configuration with the Jubilee bracelet and the smooth stainless steel bezel, the watch just wears incredibly well in a variety of settings, on dressy days with a pair of dress pants and a blazer, or with t-shirt and jeans. it just wears so well. It's thin on the wrist. This bracelet is amazing. It's accurate, it's durable. It kind of does everything, which is why it's my most worn watch of 2024.
Hi, my name is Yusuke Mutagami. I'm an editor at Hodinkee Japan. The watch I was most in 2024 was this one. Rose in Spirit Zero Time Hodinkee Edition. It's a remarkably lightweight and tough. As a GMT watch, it's super easy to use, and it was a great help during my work trips abroad. But more than anything, wearing this watch has been a great conversation starter with fellow Hodinkee lovers. For me, it feels like a badge of identity, symbolizing that I'm part of the Hodinkee family.
The watch I wore most this year is my Rolex GMT Master 2 Pepsi. I've wanted a Pepsi for a long time, so after finally picking one up last year, it's barely left my wrist. It's the first thing I grab in the morning, whether I'm at home in New York or on the road in Geneva, Japan, or Singapore, and I'm hoping it'll be that way for a long time.
What watch did I wear most in 2024? Quelle surprise! Yes, indeed. Shockingly, the Toledano & Chan B1. I know you're all surprised. It had to be this watch. This was a huge year for me. Thank you to everyone for the support. Thank you to Hodinkee for being a part of it. And thank you and good night.
The watch I wore most this year is my 1967 Oyer Carrera, reference 3147S with a silver dial. It's the first Oyer Carrera with a date function, and they put it at 12 o'clock, which doesn't make a lot of sense because the chronograph hand is sitting over the date window all the time. Because of that, they only made it for 2 years in 67 and 66. This one has the engraving on the back from Northwestern Engine Co., which is a train operator, but I went to Northwestern University, so that's why I bought this one. I wear about 4 or 5 times a week.
James from Analog Shift here, and the watch I wore most this year was this 3940J, Patek Philippe Perpetual Calendar. It's sort of epitomizes what a Patek Philippe should be to me, and that's relatively svelte proportions with a 35mm case, highly complicated, and it's yellow gold, which to me is what they all should be. But what makes this watch particularly special is that it is fitted with a signed Rice Speed bracelet. It's been basically perpetually on my wrist since I purchased it earlier this year. So, yep, the 3940J with a dope bracelet.
Hey, hello, I'm Yu. So here, this is a watch that I wore most this year. You know, this is a G-Shock with Blancpain. This watch covers an incredibly wide range from daily work to overseas trip and of course, weekend with kids. What makes it even more special to me is the fact that it's a collaboration with G-Shock, a brand beloved by none other than our own Blancpain. Adding to its personal significance, it arrived on my list as a little surprise from them the day before its officially announcement. All the G-Shocks I've seen, this is the best so far.
Hey guys, Pedro here from Hodinkee Insurance. It'll come to no surprise to any of my coworkers that the watch I wore most in 2024 was once again my Serica 5303 diver. The only difference this time around is that I have the chronometer certified version. I sold the first version earlier this year, and later on got the chronometer certified version, and I'm loving it. Can't say anything else. Hope everyone has a great holiday and Happy New Year.
The watch I wore most in 2024 was this Unimatic U1S MP. I had pre-ordered the new stainless steel bracelet going into this year, and now that I have it, I absolutely love how this watch looks and wears on the wrist. It is a little bit on the heftier side, but it hasn't stopped me from wearing this watch all the time, including on a few dives in Florida and Barbados.
Hey guys, Ben Clymer here, your founder and president of Hodinkee. This was a big year for us, obviously. A lot has changed, I think all for the better. And with that, I am back in the role of leading this company that I started so many years ago, which is really exciting. And with that, I've returned to basics in many ways, as I talked about in a story recently. And the watch that I find myself wearing a lot is not too dissimilar from last year, which was a Rolex Datejust. I still wear that watch a real lot, but this is my first full year owning a watch that is going to come as no surprise, and I think I'll probably get a few eye rolls here. But this is the watch I wore the most. It's the Rolex Daytona Le Mans, in white gold. This watch is everything I love about watchmaking, minus the hype. It's just awesome. I love Daytonas, always have, always will. I love Paul Newman's, always have, always will. It's precious metal. I find myself wearing precious metal watches more than steel these days. This one's starting to get beat up. I've had it for about 14 months now, wear it all the time. The runner-up here should also kind of come as no surprise because, you know, if the Le Mans Daytona is a very me watch, this is arguably even more of a me watch because it literally has my name on it and I designed it. This is the Ben Clymer G-Shock that we did earlier this year, the final watch in a collection that was kind of conceived by John Mayer. It is awesome. I designed it. I love it. I wear it all the time. It's kind of my companion for almost every weekend. I wear it for travel. It's just an awesome thing and really a great memory of the last 16 years of doing Hodinkee. So these are my watches that I wore most.